Hello, lords and ladies, and welcome to my very first Probability Plaza. Well, at least underneath that name. So, today we are doing a fictional fight between Pennywise the Dancing Clown and the Scarecrow from DC Comics. Now, Pennywise, as you probably know, has been featured in Stephen King's novel, It, along with a few movies and I think a TV show back in the 1990s. In the very least, he's definitely got a lot under his belt, whereas the Scarecrow has been constant in DC Comics in Batman's Rogues Gallery ever since about the 1940s. Sorry. Uh, with that, we're going to get into the conditions. Pennywise cannot use his deadlights against Scarecrow, as that would instantly just win the battle. So no insta-kills. So, yeah. And then also, Scarecrow is going to have a yellow lantern ring like he did in the Darkest Night storyline, in order to give him a more fair chance, because he's less of a fighter and more of an intellect. So, with that, let's get into it. Pennywise, the interdimensional being of fear and evil. Oops, I really did not think that through. Yeah, just a few bumps. Don't worry. Versus the Scarecrow / Dr. Jonathan Crane, the insane professor who manipulates fear. Now, Pennywise is one ugly motherfucker, and he is very scary, too. Now, some of his abilities, he has, obviously, telepathy. He can mentally manipulate his victims in order to get them to either forget about his victims. That's why there's so many children missing and nobody gives a shit in Derry. Along with shape-shifting, so he becomes the things you fear most in order to salt your meat. That came out really wrong. In order to, basically, fear to him is salt to us. So, when he's making the children of Derry afraid... Hey, Charlie. I'm recording right now. What do you need? Sorry, that was just my cat. Anyway, so when he shapeshifts into what the children of Derry fear most, and he mainly goes after children, but, why not go after adults? He's just doing it so that they will taste better as he devours him. And again, he can use the deadlights. And honestly, because I'm a coward, I have not seen the actual movies or read the books. So, yeah. Now we have Dr. Jonathan Crane / the Scarecrow. Now, personally, he is one of my favorite Batman villains because he will drive you insane with your own fears. And that's just beautiful. His primary weapon is the fear toxin, which will... Now, he is just a mortal man, so he does have that handicap in this fight, whereas Pennywise is older than the universe itself. So, he does have that going against him, but he is a very intelligent person, probably comparable to Batman. Well, a little bit under, and very intelligent. Very, very intelligent. And with the yellow lantern ring, basically, he can create constructs with his mind. So, yeah, with the yellow lantern ring combined with the fear toxin, Scarecrow is not somebody you want to go up against. Finally, the fight. Alright, so Scarecrow, he enters the town of Derry, searching for the source of this fear. He can just feel that Derry is full of this fear. It permeates the entire town like a mist. And from the sewers, he hears laughter, only to see a clown. But it's not a clown like the Joker. No. It's a strange, strange being, almost alien. The clown exits the sewer and offers Mr. Crane a balloon and tells him to come down with him into the sewers as they all float down there. Jonathan Crane begins to feel that this is the thing he was looking for. Because this ain't normal. And trust me, he's very, 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 very familiar with what is not normal and what causes fear. So, his response is instead to use the power ring to slam the creature to the ground. Pennywise, in response, tries to turn into the only thing Jonathan Crane fears, the Batman. But Jonathan Crane is too smart for this. He knows Pennywise is just trying to make him afraid. He doesn't know why. No, but he does know that this is not the real Batman. So he has nothing to fear. As Pennywise attempts to attack more and more, Jonathan Crane simply uses his ring and his fear toxin to try and outwit his opponent. Now, the power ring is more successful than the fear toxin. And that is where I'm going to leave it off to explain this one thing. So the ending of this was really determined by the fact that Jonathan Crane, the Scarecrow, had a... Well, so here's the Victor page. It's really a question of whether or not the fear toxin will affect Pennywise. Because he is not human. So will the fear toxin designed for humans and... I don't know. Well, I don't know if it would affect him in the same way that it affects other people, like, Batman, Superman, Martian Manhunter, those people. I don't know if it would affect them like it does them. Because he is on another scale entirely. But in the end, it would probably go down to the Scarecrow with the power ring. Without the power ring, it would be a different story. But I had to give him the power ring, otherwise he'd just get torn apart by Pennywise, guys. It wouldn't even be a fair fight. Now, Pennywise would be able to use his shape-shifting in order to still probably land some blows on the Scarecrow, and, he would be able to definitely do some damage to the Scarecrow, but without something to counteract the yellow ring, which is the ring of fear, by the way, hence why Scarecrow would have it in this situation. Pennywise would not have a good enough defense, and his attacks would be mostly parried, unless he could make the fight last longer than 24 hours, in which case the ring would most likely lose its charge. But, so in the end, I'm going to say I would give this to Scarecrow, because he's only afraid of one thing, and Pennywise would not be able to perfectly recreate that thing, because he'd be trying to kill him. So Scarecrow would have nothing to fear. And if he has nothing to fear, Pennywise has very little to no power. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and that'll be all.